How about you, Jason? Are you a big Chadwick Boseman fan or a Black Panther fan?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Both of those are true. I think Chadwick's embodiment of dignity and grace and power, and specifically the type of power that comes from a light within, that kind of power, because obviously there's like, the dark sides of power, but that's not the power that I'm talking about embodying. I'm talking about that light power. And then to embody all of that, the leader on the screen. Um, I think not only is that like what we need right now, uh, today, given the current environment of the world, but if we look at our past, we can see that it's a message that's always been needed, something that's always needed to be portrayed and seen for people, and and I'm sure it will always be needed in the future. I think it's just an eternally important character to be on display. And what a contrast to our lack of leadership right now in America. And as far as the character Black Panther goes, I remember the first time I saw Black Panther because I had a roommate for years and he loved all things Marvel. And before my friendship with him, I knew about as much of Marvel as maybe the average nerd because I was a nerd, but not like a big fan. But through our friendship, I watched so much Marvel stuff and got so into all of it. And I remember the first time I saw Black Panther, and um, it's a version of Black Panther that Chadwick never got to play because he was playing Black Panther when he becomes Black Panther. This first time I saw Black Panther as a character was deep into being a king, and he could fight like Captain America, but he was like as wealthy and had the resources and was as smart as Tony Stark. It was like if you took all of these incredible heroes around him, Black Panther was all of them wrapped into one. And I was like, whoa, who's this? What is this character? Because obviously, if you're into superheroes, a superhero that's like all the superheroes wrapped in one, that's like nuts, right? Because it's all about who's the most powerful, this or that. And he had it all. And I think similarly, Chadwick entered into like an arena of actors who are titans in the same way that these heroes of the comics are titans. And in the same way that Black Panther had all of the ability from the heroes, Chadwick seemed to have all of the ability of all of these incredible actors that were already embodying this universe, like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and all these, So I think there's a real power to the way that he lived in that character. And I think that going back to what you said about how private he was, that this wasn't advertised, that was not the story that he was telling people that worked with them. It was not the story of what a brave soul he's battling cancer and he's still making these movies with us. That wasn't what he was doing. He was making this eternal piece of art that will live on forever. We will always have and always be able to watch. And I think the Black Panther movie is an opportunity for healing, and what we do with it is up to us. But Hollywood has long been a place with no diversity, or at least we can say minimal diversity. And when there were diverse characters, they generally were never. I don't even want to say generally; they were never the hero. During I'm just talking about the history of Hollywood. Maybe recently we're seeing some change, but if you look at the scheme of things, they were never the hero. So if you're not a person with white skin, you never had somebody to look at. And we took a swing at saying, hey, could also look like this. But the question, I guess, next is that just a nod to say, look, we did it once, or is that really something that will Marvel employ, and not just actors, but what about all the other people that work on Marvel movies? Are we going to, or in Hollywood in general, are we going to see that continue? And are we going to heal as a nation? Because obviously the racism in Hollywood is not the total racism in the world. Are we having fun? Mind Gap Podcast.